First of all, I don't want to be a huge company. I don't know. To me, it seems like the bigger the company is, the less the percentage is net profits. Yeah. And we've grown every year we've been in business anywhere from 12% to 60%. Wow. And a 60% growth, the tail starts wagging the dog, and it gets real scary. I mean, we didn't have all the procedures in place to be that big.
Yeah, sure.
And you're running around. I mean, we lost. I lost all my hair that year.
Yeah, right. Me too.
And if you look at my boys, you see the hair steady falling out of each one of them. So.
How long y'all been out here?
2 months and 25 inches of rain.
Oh, man. So tell me scope of work. They bringing in car storage?
Yes, this is a 200 car spot. Now they've made it into a 1,000 car spot.
Okay. Is it a loop or are they just pulling?
It is a loop, but this is just a storage track right here.
Okay. You got to bring in any material on the site?
No, all bar pits are coming over there we're hauling out of.
Okay. Car storage is big business in this region.
It's my understanding that they were 39,000 cars short of having what they need for Houston area, and it don't ever stop.
Tell me a little bit about the beginning. When did you wake up and decide Shackelford Construction and Hauling was going to be your new way of life?
Well, I was managing fish ponds, which is a big thing in the Mississippi Delta, and I did that for 10 years managing, several years before that working, and got into construction business. And I was moving dirt on the ponds and stuff, rebuilding levees and putting pipes in and stuff like that. I always wanted to do something outside, smell the dirt and, sweat and sometimes tears.
Been fooling with dirt since I was 18 years old and worked for some people and then ended up having a partnership deal. Some partnerships are good, some partnerships are not. And then I ended up selling equipment for a company and then went in partnership with another company and went back to selling equipment later on. And
finally started, one of my sons, Reeves, he come back and wanted to do some work around, so Reeves ran it. We just started doing commercial work here and there and got the opportunity from a friend of mine. So look, the Bakken's hitting in North Dakota, and you need to look at some of these prices that they're getting up there. They can't get enough people up there, enough equipment up there. And so I looked at it real hard, and my wife's been telling me, look, that's what you want to do, is that you love. You need to go back in business. The boys want to go back in business, which Clint was in high school, and so we started Shackelford Construction.
The rest is history.
Well,
it's all gravy.
History ain't yet.
It's all gravy.
That's what everybody thinks.
Gravy train with biscuit wheels from there on out, right?
Yeah, everybody says, man, you own the company. Why don't you go so-and-so?
Just go start your own firm, man. Yeah. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. We're never off. You know that. I mean, I don't care where we go. I don't have a pen and piece of paper beside my bed anymore, where I'd write things down all through the night when I wake up. At least got out of that. You take people like Steven and Tom and my management crews, they're never off either. Marcus McCalman, that runs my Houston office, he said I was emailing him at 12:30 and he'd gone to bed and I woke him up when the phone pinged, and he said, darn, at 3:30 Steven emailed him and he woke up again because the phone's pinging. He goes, man, my wife trying to kick me out of bed because the phone keeps going off. Tom's the superintendent here. He didn't start as superintendent, and that's kind of the way I like it. He mechanic for us, welded for us, run equipment operator, and worked his way up, along with a lot of great superintendents we have. So I like to bring people in and promote them up through the company so they know from day one, even though as we grow, we got to still make changes, but they know the base of the story behind Shackelford and how we want to build things up.
The culture's preserved, and they can help teach that to the other folks in the company.
That's correct. And I've hired some superintendents from out, and they still work with me, and they're great superintendents. But it's hard to get a superintendent that buys into your plan, because you get to, some people go, well, that's just the way we've always done it. That's not the way Shackelford does it. We've got a base that we started on 10 years ago, and we've worked from there We're gonna do exactly what the plans call for. I'm not cutting any corners. I don't care if I lose money. I'm not cutting any corners.
Tell us a little bit about the equipment you got out here.
These right here are tractor pans. We're running John Deere tractors, and these, as I mentioned earlier, I think he's got two 17 yards behind him. We've got 3 of those tractors running. We've got 84-inch sheep's foot over here that's running, compacting everything in.
These guys are picking up and dropping
right.
with the pans?
They're over there in the bar pit. They're letting the pans down and scraping the dirt in it, coming back around and letting it out. And he's shaping it as they go and putting it in either 6 or 8-inch lifts. I'm not sure what's on this job here.
How long do you keep these things in service? Just depends on hours or years or?
On our equipment, there's like these tractors here, we run them to about 6,000 hours. I run my dozers to 8,000 hours. We put more hours than a lot of people in construction business because, like I said earlier, how much we work all the time. We put about 2,000 to 2,500 hours a year on a dozer.
Oh, wow.
You know, 4 years, that dozer's gone. Even my rollers, I mean, you know, people put 200, 250 hours a year on a roller. We're putting 12 to 15, 1,800 hours on rollers. You're gonna pay the equipment notes or you're gonna pay maintenance.
Yeah.
And I would much rather pay equipment notes because I'm running newer equipment that's got newer technology.
Well, and you probably get less downtime. Maintenance means downtime.
Correct.
Right?
I make my money off of production.
Yeah. I noticed you running Komatsu excavator, some of these dozers.
I run CAT and Komatsu.
Yeah.
The technology has a lot to do with it. Komatsu, I do CAT 1 year, and the next year CAT I do Komatsu. We've had some 0% financing, some 1.2 finance, 2% financing, and and that's you couldn't do that at a bank or nothing like that, even though interest rates as low as are. But you're buying from Caterpillar Komatsu Finance, then they'll get out and put some pretty good deals. Just about everything we got's on GPS, so the dealers watch our stuff. We may be fixing a call in a day or two, and they'll call up and say, hey, we're going to be out such and such. I see such and such equipment needs oil change. We can sit there in our office on GPS out here, and if we're talking to the customer or the engineer, and they decide they want to raise this site 1/10, we can do it out of our office in Mississippi.
Wow.
Well, we get a report from Caterpillar Komatsu once a month. It shows how much my equipment's running at maximum, idling, mid-power, how much fuel it's burning, all that kind of stuff. So we know exactly how much fuel now that we're going to burn on every job.
Yeah.
Weather is my enemy. When somebody says, I can't wait to get a rain on my grass at my house because it's turning brown, I just cringe. I'm like, they're like, man, you don't want it to rain? I said, I hope my yard dies.
So on a job like this, 28 rain days, how do you manage that with the customer?
They're not
man?
28 rain days.
28
There's
days of rain.
25 days of rain, but we don't stop. In the business we're in here, and if we lime a spot like this, it rained on it the next day. I mean, it's shed off because everything's got a % slope on it, at least probably 2% slope. Then we're back putting on Sub-ballast on top of it.
So this is the lime operation, huh?
This is the lime operation right here. This is pelletized lime. A lot of times we use lime that'll be in a powder like baby powder or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really dusty. This keeps it down. A lot of people don't want the dust on the site, especially working by highways, chemical plants.
And so on some of your projects, do you you'll put like a fabric down before or after this?
We would put, a lot of times you won't use a fabric if you're putting down lime. Very seldom.
Either or.
Sometimes either or will expect it. We buy all our fabric from Industrial Fabrics. They just built a new plant in Houston and out here in Louisiana, but they ship it to us everywhere. And they've developed so many different grids and fabrics that, I mean, it's amazing what you can do across various wetlands and stuff. But it's not always just a fabric. Some of it's a grid, and they make one now that is a grid and a fabric. And I mean, it's
Does it
amazing.
roll out in two separate?
No, it's all in one.
It's all in one.
It's all in one.
This hardens up.
It's very hard.
We was in Watford City, North Dakota. We had to change our equipment. We had to put heavy new starters on them. We had to put new different batteries in there.
Because of the weather and everything,
the oil was different up there. So it took about $6,000 per piece of equipment to get it ready to work in the temperatures up there. Because there was times that we worked 12 below.
Wow.
And I mean, it's You put a wrap up at 12 below. And it was times we left our equipment running out 24 hours a day.
Really?
We would run it. I mean, just let it sit there and idle all night long.
Just to keep it warm.
Keep it warm.
Wow.
We were shattering pins that were probably an inch and a quarter pins on our dirt pans. And
Jeez.
When we'd crank it up and the guys would sit there and hit the hydraulics, that oil was so thick. And when it finally went through, those pins were so cold, it looked like somebody
just sheared it off.
Butter knife.
It's people we're working for in the industry. They've got offices with no windows and no calendars.
Yeah.
You know, they don't care what month it is.
Yeah.
They don't care if they're going to start a dirt project in Colorado in January when everybody else knows it's snowing 3 inches every day. They don't mind that this is in a swamp over here we're building it now, and they're going to start it in, April showers.
Yeah.
We don't stop.
Well, we probably need to start heading east,
Okay.
because I'm a lot slower than you are.
We'll head to our office in Mississippi, is where our corporate office is.
I'm pumped to see it, We've been working together for 3-4 years now, and finally get to go see headquarters.
Mike, like to request flight following to 87 India, just departed Beaumont, about 6 miles to the northeast.
That's a nice buck. You picked that up here?
Killed that on my property at the house.
Wow. So what year did you pick up this building?
I want to say 4 years ago.
Okay.
This was really the only thing that was here, even though it was paneling and stuff.
Yeah.
First added on, we just added that office. We picked up another job, we added that office.
Yep.
And our first safety meeting was in this room.
Right in here.
And all it was 2x4 studded out. It wasn't even there. That was my office.
No sheetrock,
No
nothing.
sheetrock and nothing. This was the parts room. Now
Oh, very nice.
Now it's the conference room.
Very nice. This turned out great.
We waited on this.
This
table,
slab table is...
one solid piece. And let me tell you, one solid heavy piece.
Oh, I can't imagine.
Look, you see
Got
that
the-
right over there?
They got these butterfly keys in it.
Yep. You see that right there? You know what that is?
Right here?
Yeah.
No, what is that?
That's lead where somebody shot the tree years ago.
Come on. Super
Hope
cool,
it don't
man.
fall. It's only built with railroad iron.
Yeah, that ain't going anywhere. What are some of the other keeps you up at night on jobs like this, risk-wise, other than weather and COVID-19?
Somebody getting hurt.
Safety.
Safety is
You've got a lot of big equipment moving around here. What do you do to keep all these guys safe?
When we
Cool.
come in and do our safety meetings, we start serving breakfast and we go from 7:30 in the morning to 5:30.
Yeah.
Equipment training, we bring in Caterpillar, Komatsu, Puckett and machinery, and this Cat and Louth machinery. This Komatsu are generous enough to loan us equipment. We're one of the few dirt companies that, we train on every railroad there is.
You guys put them through OSHA training as well?
We do. We got all my guys are OSHA 10.
Yeah.
All my superintendents are OSHA 30, and then my safety guys OSHA 500. CPR and first aid is good for, I think, 2 years. We do it every year. Chemical plant training, GPS training, and it goes on for 2 days.
And the type of training that you do, it gives them that kind of confidence.
We hit the lowest rating that you can have for what we do, 0.73 3 years ago, and we're on the bottom. We can't go any further. That's that industry standard.
Yeah.
And we've had 0 accidents for the last 10 years.
Jeez, that's amazing, especially with the kind of work you're doing, the big equipment and the amount of material you're moving.
Probably the main thing that helps us on everything, we have two-way radios in everything we own.
Okay.
We got them in our pickup trucks, we got them in the dozers, we got them. Somebody walks across this yard right here, they're gonna have a radio on their hand.
What's going on,
This is
bud?
one of my sons.
Busy at work.
He is senior project manager, senior estimator.
Doing the estimating requires a lot of time on reading plans and researching and going through all the details. So just doing that's full-time job, and then trying to oversee project management.
It's like we talked about yesterday that we're lucky if we get 2 weeks to be at a job, and even if we do get the luck of getting 1 2 weeks, we're tied up on so much other stuff. We kind of shoot ourselves in the foot, and that's why we've hired another estimator and project manager.
You had to slip that in there, didn't you?
Yeah.
This is a map of where everything's at right now?
Right now, we're in Houston, Texas. We're in Beaumont, Big Springs, Texas, Odessa, Texas, and we're in Dallas, Texas. Hernando, Mississippi, Lake Butler, Florida, and Cool Springs, Georgia, North Carolina, New Mexico, North Dakota. We got the job in Virginia, and then he's also designing one in Ohio.
Just moving people and equipment.
Logistics
has got to be
it can be real brain damage. This was a Komatsu picked up.
Oh, cool, man.
Did this ad right here that was in hundreds of magazines, and then they also did a commercial. You need a sandbox?
No. No.
You need a hot tub?
No.
What those are 30-yard dump beds off of off-road trucks.
Yeah.
We're going and taking those beds off on our 30 tons and putting 6,000-gallon water tanks and sprayers on them. So,
I got you.
Like the one you saw in Beaumont. Yeah. In the terrain we're working on and the distance and stuff like that and soft and sand and stuff.
Like a water truck, you'd have problems.
It's constantly.
How many pieces of equipment do you have in your fleet, plus or minus?
We're running somewhere around probably about 138 pieces of equipment that have motors.
Spread all over the U.S. right now.
That doesn't have anything to do with, how many trailers and, disc and plows and
a lot out there.
It just comes with a lot.
There's
a lot out there. Welding trailers, service
Yeah.
trucks. I mean, it just, it's a lot. Yeah, you said it's fixing to hit us. I'd rather fart to rain at the shop than on a job site.
We're a family business. My wife, when she'd get out of school, 3:30, she'd get home. She'd work 10 o'clock at night.
Sure.
She did our books. Then when we got Lori working, she did all of our safety and stuff. And I got 5 children, daughter in college, one works Federal Bureau of Prisons, and then the 3 there. So, it's a family business.
Hunter started running equipment when he was 9. He was on his first bulldozer. Reeves was 10. And that's what I ended up telling him after that. You've either got to go to college and learn something to bring to the company, or you've got to go work for another company for 3 years.
Yeah.
One of the things I told him, I want you to learn these different things because we don't never know as we grow our company what we're going to get into. And with them learning that, I mean, when they're bidding some of this stuff, they've been there. They know that, and to me, that's your best estimator.
Sure.
You can take somebody out of college, but man, if they ain't had boots on the ground,
You haven't seen it. It's like you said, picking sticks out of the dirt since they were this big. They have an understanding of what it takes to do it, what the weather impacts are, what the equipment is, and a lot of that stuff you can't learn in school out of the book. I mean, that's part of this whole thing that we're doing is trying to attract more people into the industry, trying to get people excited about construction, and let them know it can be a good career or a good opportunity to start a business, because there's not a lot of people raising their kids saying, I want you to go be a construction worker.
No.
As a business owner, entrepreneur, you're into dirt work, you do some utility work. What other things you got up your sleeve?
You don't want to have your eggs all in one basket, and it's hard enough running one business, and then you as you know, you've got multiple businesses you try to get in. That way that you've got income coming in from several different things. We've got a company, we've got rental houses and some apartments. We've got one company that I'm partnered with a guy. We have some roll-off boxes, American Recovery, that we've got in the Jackson, Mississippi area. So we own some shopping centers with another guy that's in the shopping center business. We bought into some of those. We just started a Shackelford Management Services where we'll come in an operation like this, and when we get through, I'll talk to them about maintaining everything here, from cutting the grass to keeping the ditches clean.
So it's like one-stop shop.
That's right. And somebody's got to do it. I don't know, it's kind of flashbacks or whatever, wherever you want to say, when you started out working at your house 10 years ago. And like I told everybody, if I told everything that went on coming through, they would think it was fiction.
Well, man, I can't thank you enough for letting us come out. It's been amazing watching the growth and learning more about the history of the company and your family. You got an awesome family. It's cool to watch you guys working together, your boys and your wife. And
I don't know how much they think it's awesome sometimes, but
well, I think I watched them at dinner last night, and there's a lot of respect there at the table for what you've done and for the example that you set. And you've done an amazing job here. And actually, I've learned a lot going through this process, just working with you. I love looking at other business owners and what they've done.
I do too. I think there's two things that you can learn from every person and every business is what they do good and what they do bad. And I think you need to look at both of them. And I still drive down the road sometimes, man, and I'll see it come across a construction site. I'll whoop off side road.
Go take a look.
And just sit there and look and see, because there's always something I can pick up from somebody and go, you know what? Hey, I never thought about that, or I might can tweak mine something. So there's always something somebody can learn.